Hey, fifth grade. It's good to be with you today. I hope that we get to see each other's faces soon, maybe in the Zoom call coming up. Um, so today we're going to work on lesson 129, which is 247 and 248, and you'll want to have this because we're going to work directly on these pages together. It's the chapter 13 review, which means we have a quiz coming up, and I'm thinking we're going to do like a Kahoot quiz for this section of our grammar study that we've been doing together. So let's do a little bit of review together today. First of all, I want you to, in your mind, to tell me, what do adverbs describe? What type of words do adverbs describe? They describe verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. They answer these three questions: how, when, and where. And often when they're answering the question how, they're going to end in ly. This is all stuff that, as I'm saying this, you should be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know that, because she says this every video. So these are things by now that you should know. Okay, so what does adverbs describe? Verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. What do adjectives describe? Adjectives describe nouns, and they answer the questions. An adjective is going to answer the question how many or what kind. Okay, so for the first section on page 247, the instructions are to find every adjective and then draw an arrow to the noun that each adjective describes. Okay, so 1 through 3, we're looking only for adjectives. Okay, and adjectives are going to describe the noun. Number 1, helium balloons traveled in the atmospheric layers to monitor the weather. Okay, so let's think here. Balloons is a noun. What is describing balloons in this sentence? Helium is. Helium is an adjective. Balloons, okay. Layers is a noun. What is describing layers? Atmospheric is describing layers. So this is an adjective describing layers. To monitor would be a prepositional phrase, the weather. The is one of our special adjectives known as an article, and that is describing weather. Okay, let's look at sentence 2. Some planes are useful for gathering information about current conditions. Okay, planes is a noun. What words are describing planes in this sentence? So we have some planes, some telling us how many, some planes. Useful here is telling us what kind of planes. Excuse me. For gathering information about current conditions. What word is describing conditions? Current is describing conditions. Okay. Sentence 3. These instruments recorded this weather condition. Okay. Instruments is a noun. What is describing instruments here? These instruments recorded this weather condition. Okay, here condition is going to be our noun. What is describing condition? Well, it's a weather condition. So we've got an adjective here describing what kind of condition. And this condition, this is describing condition as well. Okay, so these were adjectives. Now the next section says, underline the adverbs in each sentence and draw an arrow. So now we're looking for adverbs, and as a review, adverbs describe verbs, adjective, and other adverbs. Okay? So let's look at sentence 4. Special buoys carefully record ocean conditions. Okay, so we need to look for I would look first for the verb in the sentence to see if the verb is being described at all. Record is our verb. Is there a word that describes record here? Well, carefully answers the question how and has our ly ending. So carefully is an adverb describing record. Okay, 5. Suddenly the winds blew the waves westward. Okay, let's first start by looking for our verb in the sentence. Suddenly the winds blew is the verb in this sentence. Can you turn and get the dog? So the dog always wants to be in here with me, except when she hears Parker, and now she wants to go out with Park. Go get him, Mouse. Go get Park. She'll be back in a second. Okay. So blue is our verb. And what are the words that are describing blue? Let me read it again since we got distracted by the dog. Suddenly the winds blew the waves westward. Blue is our word. How were they blown? Suddenly. Look at, guys. It's all the way over here, but it still is describing blue. How the winds were blown, they were blown suddenly. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to find the word that answers this question in sentence 5. Where were the winds blown? Where were they blown? They were blown westward. Adverb. Add your arrow. Okay. 6. God brought Uncle Marvin and his family home safely. Okay. So what is our verb? Let's look there first. Our verb is brought. Brought is our verb. Okay. How did God bring Uncle Marvin and his family home? How did that happen? That happened safely. Describing brought. Okay. Now let me ask another question. Where did God bring Uncle Marvin and his family? God brought them home. Home is an adverb describing brought. Kiddos, when we're looking for adverbs, it's a good place to always start with your verb and then kind of work backwards. Okay, I've got a few more I want to look at today. I want to look at 7, 8, and 9. Excuse me. And we're going to mark the parts of speech on 7, 8, and 9. And then I'm going to let you do the diagramming. Okay? Let's read number 7 together. Meteorologists constantly record the temperature. Okay, so what is the subject of the sentence? The subject is meteorologists. What do meteorologists do? Meteorologists record. Okay, this is a action verb. So now we're going to look to see if there's a direct object in the sentence. What or whom? Meteorologists record what? Meteorologists record temperatures is our direct objects. So mark these things, these 3 things on sentence 7. And then the other words that are left in this sentence are either adverbs or adjectives. Okay, so you need to mark those correctly, either an adverb or an adjective. Okay, let's look at 8. Those anemometers measure wind speed often. Those anemometers measure wind speed often. What is the subject here? Anemometers. What are anemometers doing? They measure. What do anemometers measure? They measure speed. What do they measure? They measure speed. Speed is your direct object. Every other word left in sentence 8 is either an adjective or an adverb. Go ahead and mark those, whether they're adjective or adverb, please. Okay, last sentence together today, number 9. A small parachute is helpful. What is our subject in this sentence? Our subject is parachute. What is our verb? Our verb is, and it's a linking verb. Okay, when we have linking verbs, we're going to look for a predicate noun or a predicate adjective. A small parachute is helpful. So this is describing the subject, the parachute being helpful. So this is a PA, predicate adjective. Every other word in sentence 9 is either an adjective or an adverb, so please mark that accordingly. Okay, kiddos, go ahead and finish up 247 and 248, and then tomorrow will be your Kahoot quiz. Wow, my camera holder was